Hello everybody, Jock12 back here again with another video, and I'm here with another Dragon Ball Super video, and I'm here to give you my official review for Dragon Ball Super Episode 58. Now, of course, if you've not seen this episode, please go check it out, because this review may contain spoilers. But that being said, let's get into the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super. Now, of course, I have to point out, the last previous episodes have been on point. This series is on and off. Definitely for a lot of fans out there, but I will say this, if you are a fan of Dragon Ball the franchise and you pretty much have taken a step back away from Super, I definitely suggest it's time to get back into Super, considering this saga is definitely on point. And the last previous episodes have been pretty much the best episodes in action we've seen in this entire series since the beginning, or even Battle of Gods. But with that being said and done, essentially the overall course and plot and or scope of this episode is essentially after the great battle between Zamus and Black and the Holy Trinity of Super Saiyans, as I like to call them, essentially returned back in time in present day to essentially lick up their wounds and research the possible next game plan they have set in place for Zamus and Black Goku. And that's essentially the overall episode. Everyone is pretty much discussing who Zamus is, well, not essentially who Zamus is, but how he got into what he becomes in the future, who Black really is, and essentially how they're going to fight them again now that they're dealing with someone who's an immortal. And that's essentially what the overall episode is, and a whole bunch of theories continue to bubble up with Whis and Beerus being added into the situation in a more, I guess you can say, physical way. And overall, I'm not a big fan of this episode. It was pretty much just a time waster for me. I just felt incredibly bored over the course of this episode, and it has a lot to do possibly with the fact that the past two episodes we gotten were so freaking amazing. Even though I had certain nitpicks for certain areas in the last two episodes, they were pretty much on point and phenomenal over the course of the last saga we've gotten thus far. But with this episode, it was pretty much just, I felt as a fan the same way Bulma felt on how stupid Goku and Vegeta and Trunks were for not getting Senzu Beans into the future to fight Zamus and Black. And that's how I kind of felt. I just felt like after the epicness of the freaking first episode where Vegeta's fighting freaking Black and then Zamus comes out of nowhere, and then the last episode where we get the epicness of Goku and freaking Trunks tag team against freaking Zamus and Black, WWE style but with superpowers. I mean, that was on point and awesome. But this episode was definitely just a big ol' let's talk and drag this shit out so we can make sure this saga and continues to go on. And as much as I enjoy the saga, I do feel like after a while it's time to like speed up the filler time so we can get into some legitimate suspense, because I felt like this episode was kind of going in a circle, and that's the major problem I have with it. Over the course, we get the idea that we have theories and we have speculations, but not too much explanations, which is what the next couple episodes will be giving us. However, they dragged this episode a little too much for my taste, considering that everything was speculation, and that's what the episode was based on. It wasn't really all about what do we do next. It was just like, how did he do that? And how do we make an entire episode based off a one-question kind of statement that Goku and the rest of the gang have? And I just feel like that wasn't the right way to go, rather, within a post-badass episode that we got previously, with Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta, and Trunks getting annihilated by Black and Goku, and this Super Saiyan Rose, and what have you. So, it is what it is, but overall, that's just my biggest gripe with the episode. With the plot itself, I do like certain aspects about this episode. I feel like there were some definite cheeky, fun moments here and there, comedic-wise, with Goku and his insertion with the rest of the gang and how they should defeat Zamus. Beerus, of course, is always hilarious and awesome, and just stuff like that. It was just nice to have a calm moment in a post-battle. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of the episode, it was fun to get those little moments. But overall, Zamus has gone to research the Super Dragon Balls from Zuno. And now he's going to use the Super Dragon Balls, at least in the way that Whis theories, or at least speculates, because once again, all this episode is just one big theory that Whis speculates with the rest of the gang, which is essentially Zamus goes to Zuno, discusses information on the Super Dragon Balls, discovers that the Super Dragon Balls only are usable after a year of being used, which of course has not passed yet, seeing as how we just used them in the ending of the Champa arc. So Zamus, at least in Whis' theory, which is this entire episode's dragging out to talk about, is essentially Zamus goes and kills his master and teacher Goasha. Then he uses his time ring to go up a year in time, and then he wishes on the Super Dragon Balls to become immortal, and then creates, allegedly through Whis' theory, at least from my perspective of watching the episode, creates Black Goku, a copy of Goku, if you will, with the power of the Super Dragon. And that's essentially what this episode is. That's okay and all, and these are interesting questions and supposed intellectual answers, if you will, the best they can come up with at this point in time. But once again, to spend an entire episode on that just kind of bothered me. But overall, we come to the end where Goku with Beerus and Whis go to the universe where Goash is, I guess, to protect him or just to see how things plan out and discuss Zamus, who, of course, at this point in time, already has his information on the Super Dragon Balls and is going to go on his track of his road, if you will, to becoming the villain he becomes in the future that we've seen in the last 2 episodes. Now, with that being said, it's cool. Once again, the suspense in this saga is definitely on point, but once again, I just feel like you really didn't have to drag out this episode the way you did just on that one theory in question. And now we're going to get another episode where we have to drag out the fact of, what do we do? Do we save Zamusu's teacher, or we just wait to see him do it? It's just, I don't know, we're entering calm, peaceful, fillerific time periods in this saga, and after the amazement of the last 2 battles, I want to see more of that. But it is what it is, we're just going to have to deal with it. Overall, the episode itself was pretty much a bore fest, nothing really amazing happened. There was some cheeky comedic elements here and there. Artistry also was definitely not on point. I mean, like, if you thought I was a little too nitpicky with the last episode, this episode definitely was not on point when it came to artistry and animation. But regardless of any of that, it was still fun. It was okay. It was definitely just another regular, good old Dragon Ball Super episode, which I guess, depending on your perspective, is either a good or bad thing. But at the end of the day, my final verdict for this episode is a solid 5.5 out of 10. It was a pretty much just average Dragon Ball Super episode, and it was just the standard. That's pretty much what Toei Animation gave us with this episode. They just gave us the average standard episode. They didn't really give us a good, holy shit went down in this episode, what's going to happen next kind of a thing. They just went the other route, and that's just one of the big things that really bugs me about the episode itself. But overall, we're going to get a whole bunch of like this in the next couple episodes with, I guess, finding out who Black's identity or origin truly is. Zamus, how do we stop his present time from getting this ultimate power to seek out the alleged justice that he seeks in the future timeline. And, of course, the rematch and end to this saga. So, overall, there are big things to come within the saga, but this episode didn't really give us anything substantial or anything really amazing, at least from my subjective perspective and point of view. But with that being said and done, let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. If I'm not mistaken, Dragon Ball Super will be going on another break, so of course no Dragon Ball Super episode next week. However, I guess that's not going to be a big problem, considering that, based off what I've seen, the next episode would just be the waiting game, the good old waiting game, and pretty much just going in another circle of like, we know you're the bad guy, but we're not going to do something about it just yet. And it's just, Okay, I get it. I mean, like, just let Beerus kill him already so we could just move on with the future battle again and take on Super Saiyan Rose Black again. I mean, come on. I want to see more of that. I want to see Super Saiyan Rose Black fight Goku again. That was just so awesome the previous episode. I just wanted more of that. That one, like, 2-minute clip that you see all over Twitter and YouTube, I want to see more of that, Toy Animation. Just come on, give me some of that. But overall, with that being said and done, final verdict stands 5.5 out of 10. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Shameless plug time. Follow me on Instagram at Jox12. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, and hope you guys enjoyed. And this has been Jox12.